Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast for a weekend edition. This Saturday, it is May 20th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Super Saturday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by bullpenpicks.com. And folks, if you want to follow some of the best baseball pickers each and every day, you can right here at bullpenpicks.com. Art55 is our new leader at 764. Yours truly, Ron Raymond, at 549. And there's Madcap at 481. And if you want to follow some of the top pickers, you can see what they picked on the prior day. So yesterday we had Hawkeyes go 11-4 with their baseball selection. I went 10-5. You can see On Time 34 went 9-6, and Art 55 went 10-5. So a pretty good day. In fact, let me go to the SBI to see how I got a feeling the favorites did really well last night, Friday night in Major League Baseball. And let me see here. So yeah, 9-6 for the favorites, 7-8 for the favorite of the run line for the underdog, and 5-9-1 to the under. So the under the last couple days in baseball. In fact, under is cashed in 55.7%. So neutral market betting the under. All right, I'm gonna make my baseball selections here today. I already did the legwork. I already did my my baseball homework, and I'm gonna go through some of the games right now. And I'm just going to bring up some of the my other screen, so that way I got something to cross-reference when I'm looking at the today's starting pitcher, which were already listed right there. So I really don't need it. All right. Kansas City against the Chicago White Sox. We're going to look at Giolito up against Jordan Lyles. And looking at the stats on this game right here. There we go. So, and here's another thing I'm really looking into. Like, as you know, when you look at the Raymond Report, I'm always talking about player, shopper value, player percentages, performance cycles, right? And I'm trying a new case study. I guess that's what we'll call case studies now, right? When we're researching. And, if you're not always trying to find an edge, and, the thing I love about sports betting and when you're dealing with analytics is you're constantly in research mode, right? Research and development. And one thing I love doing is just crunching numbers and trying to find the caramel secret into success. And one thing I've done, and I'll show you guys real quickly, one thing that, and if you're a member of ATS Stats, you might want to try this every day. I'm going through a 2-week period cycle where I'm trying to get, and like when we talk about the A, B's, and C-type teams in the Raymond Report, A-type teams are teams with 60% or higher. Those are your alphas, those, and I'll bring up that the A's right here. So right here we go A, B, C's, and you know what? I know I'm all over the place right now, but it's a weekend. What else do we got to do, right? It's a weekend edition. Have yourself a nice coffee, or like Jimmy Buffett would say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere if you're having an adult beverage. And let me see here. Let's go to MLB. And we're always talking about those A, B, and C type teams. And the one thing about these A, B's, and C's, they're all going to go through a good cycle, right? A good or bad cycle. It can't be like Tampa Bay or the Boston Bruins and win every game almost. But look at Tampa Bay, 33-13. But if you see the A-type teams, these teams, very rarely do they go in a bearish cycle. Bearish means they're either 2-5, 1-6, 0-7 in their last 7 games. So they're all neutral or bullish. And you look at the B-type teams, not one B-type team is bearish. So that tells me a lot of C-type teams. So that tells me, the C's are doing their jobs, and that's losing games, right? So what I'm looking at is I'm going to go through the last 2 weeks. So what I did this morning, I already did some of my my legwork. So I'm going to go from May, I believe it was May 4th or May 5th to May 19th. That's 2 weeks, right? So we're going to go May 4th to May 19th, and we're going to go get all the teams. And you see how the Yankees are 10-5. So that's the cycle that I'm looking at in a 2-week period. And when you think about it, remember at the beginning of the year I said my under the radar teams like Pittsburgh, Arizona, Miami. But look at Pittsburgh, right? Then they come up with a big win last night, but they're a B-type team. So Pittsburgh is going to be an interesting case study going forward. So that's one thing I'm looking at right here. And when I do the picks, I'm gonna show you exactly what cycle those teams are in a 2-week period to give you an idea. Like Kansas City 6-8 in their last since May 5th. and the Chicago White Sox 7-7. Now consider this: the White Sox had a really slow start to the year, right? White Sox didn't have a really good start, and just recently, and great pitching performance last night by Kopech, one or two hitters, something like that. So good start last night. I'm going to ride the wave here. I'm going to go with the White Sox at 56%. Alex Manoah, I've been saying this at the beginning of the year, sophomore jinx, and he's been struggling. I was the only one that I follow, the players that I follow. I was the only one on Baltimore last night, but I'm going right back to the well, and it's mostly a play against Manoah. And yeah. Baltimore 8-6 in the last 2 weeks. Toronto 7-6. I think the over also might be worth a quick gander at looking at the over today. All right, Detroit taking on Washington. You got Fado against Corbin, and let me see here. Yeah, Alex Fado 0-1, 4.2 ERA. Corbin 4.6, and I'm gonna looking at the 7-5. Detroit's a C-type team, 7-5. And against other C-type teams, they are 9-4. So I'm gonna go with Detroit here at 57%. You know, a little lower because they're on the road. I'm gonna go 55%, and you can see Detroit on the road this year, 10-12 on the road, and Washington 7-15 at home. So they're much better on the road, and they're 4-9 in the last 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go Detroit here. Chicago, big win last night against Philly. Aaron Nola against Jameson Taillon today. And looking at the numbers, Chicago 5-8 in their last 2 weeks, where Philadelphia 5-7, 9-3-1 to the over for the Cubs last 2 weeks. So the over, I think the over is where you want to go here today. But I'm gonna go with the team that's bearish at home, or bearish at 1 day cycle. I'm gonna go with Philly. I'm gonna go Philly 54%. Arizona against Pittsburgh. Looking at this game, this is an interesting game. I think this could go either way. Now Pittsburgh 4-8 in their last 2 weeks, while Arizona 8-6, two B-type teams, and you can see Arizona 5-5 against the Bees, where Pittsburgh is 5-4. Neutral 1 day for Pittsburgh. That's because they're either 4-3, 3-4 last 7. But bullish Arizona. I'm gonna go Arizona. I'm gonna go Arizona on this one on the road. I'm gonna go 56%, and they both have a decent record against middle of the pack teams. Arizona's 5-5, where Pittsburgh is 5-4. Next game on deck, we're going to go Miami against San Francisco. Logan Webb against Braxton Garrett. And looking at the numbers right here, where is Miami? There we go. 7-6 last 2 weeks, where San Fran 8-6. And the value, I have 165 here as the line for San Fran. I had them listed at 143 on my line. So I did have the Giants at 143. And Miami 10-5 against the C-type teams, where San Fran is 9-12. But you know what? I'm gonna go with home cooking here. I know I'm gonna go 54%. I'm gonna go with Logan Webb here today. Got to start turning it around. Colorado, Texas. Yeah, Texas really what a great run they're having this year. The Texas Rangers. In fact, they are. Look at this record. Where was it? 18-7 against C-type teams, or Colorado against the A-type teams. Only faced A-type teams 7 times this year. They're 2-5, and but you know what? Colorado 7-6, and Texas is 9-5. You got Kyle Freeland against John Gray, who used to pitch with Colorado. I like Texas. I'm looking at a 5-4 type game. So if you like Colorado, maybe if you're gonna take Colorado, take the Geico Insurance, take the run line. Tampa Bay against Milwaukee. Very interesting matchup here today. You got Zach Eflin, the former Philly, up against Eric Lauer, and I believe Lauer's a lefty. So you got a lefty, and let me see here, Eric Lauer, lefty on a righty. Lauer 4-4, 4.54 ERA, where Zach Eflin 5-1 to 3.38 ERA. I'm gonna go with obviously Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay neutral 10 days, minus 166 was my line. Bookmakers got 205. Tampa Bay 7-7 last 2 weeks. Milwaukee 6-7. And but again, another one like the Colorado game. If you like Milwaukee, run line. I think this is a 4-3 type game for the Rays. New York taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Tanner Bibby against Mad Max Scherzer. I'm going to go with Mad Max here. Both these teams pretty similar in their last 2 weeks. 7-6 for the Mets, 6-7 for the Guardians. And the only difference, you got the Mets bullish 1 day. Minus 191 was my line. We're getting a little bit of a discount, minus 170. And for Cleveland, 7-9 against the B-type teams, where the Mets are 18-12. And a big game last night, 1-1, right? and we did have Cleveland on the run line, but I'm going to go back to Mad Max here and the Mets. I'm going Yankees over the Cincinnati Reds. I don't have the listed pitcher right here, but we're supposed to be Johnny Brito against Luke Weaver, and I'm going to go with the Yankees. Yankees really hot. The only one of the, I think one of the two teams with a double digits. Yeah, 10-5 last 2 weeks, and I think Dodgers the only other double digit team that. Yeah, there is another double digit team, but it's Oakland, so it's the other way. You don't want that, right? You don't want to go the other way. Or the was it Oakland or San Diego? Sorry, San Diego. Maybe Oakland too. Where's Oakland? Did we do Oakland yet? I don't think so. Let me see. Where is Oakland? Oakland, yeah, 4-10, and yeah. So be careful with that. All right. So where were we? I'm gonna go Yankees 69%. There's Oakland. I'm gonna go Houston. Houston, we have no problem right now. 9-4 last 2 weeks, and bullish 5 days. 10-6 though against the. Here's the thing, Oakland. Well, Oakland, yeah, always gonna be bad when you're 36 on the season. I'm gonna go 74% with Hunter Brown against JP Sears. This game here reminds me of the Colorado and the Milwaukee game. It could be a one-run game here. Logan Gilbert against Jesse Chavez. I'm gonna go with the Braves here, and I'll tell you why. The Atlanta Braves against C-type teams, 14-2, while Seattle 4-14 against the A-type teams. Both these teams 6 wins in the last 2 weeks, so I'm gonna go not a heavy, but I'm gonna go Atlanta, and then I'm gonna go St. Louis against Dodgers, and another game where I think you want to take that Geico insurance. I do like the Dodgers here, but I'm looking at a 5-4 type game. If you like St. Louis, take the at home on the run line. Just trying to find my Dodger. That 10-4, 5-9 to the under. St. Louis, St. Louis 9-5 in the last 2 weeks. So some of these C-type teams. Remember, I said in the podcast, some of these teams will make a little bit of a run, but then there's just not consistency enough to make it stretch out for the year, right? So I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. Not heavy. Noah Syndergaard. We're gonna go with Thor against Miles Mikolas. Atlanta. Angels against Minnesota. And bring up the numbers right here. You got Minnesota 6-7 the last 2 weeks, where Angels 6-8. I think the over could be another. Angels last 2 weeks 10-4 to the over. Neutral 2 days for the Angels, neutral 3 days for the Twinkies, and looking at the B against the B. So 5-6 Minnesota, 5-4 LA against the B-type teams. But I'm gonna go at home cooking, and I'm gonna go 57%. No, you know what? I got a lot of respect for the Twinkies. They're doing well. And then San Diego, yeah, Joe Musgrove against Chris Sale. I'm going to go Boston in this one. They got the win last night. And, yeah, the Padres struggling. 3-10 the last 2 weeks. 1-11-1 to the under the last 2 weeks. Where Boston 6-6, 6-4-2 to the over. 11-4. Boston is 11-4 against teams below 500, while San Diego is 8-9. And I'm gonna go Boston. Yeah, 59%. Hit the bullpen save button. Click on today's pick, and then I'm gonna go follow my other guys that I follow. So you see, I can follow Madcap, Art55, one time Hawkeyes, and you want to follow the best pickers. That's the way this works. This is the Twitter of baseball. That's what I call it. The Twitter of baseball. Follow best pickers, and then you can compare your picks. So if I look at me and Art, we got one. So we got that. We got one different, two different, three different, three different, four. All right, we got 4 out of 15 games, and then we both have Houston as our top play, 74%. I got the Yankees. He's got the Rays, and I got San Fran as my bronze picks, which is like my lowest, my lowest highest. The lowest but the highest of the underdogs. 53%. I got 54%. So that's how it works. Bullpenpicks.com. It's free. All you got to do is go to Bullpen, sign up, make your picks. You got to get 100 picks in the system. Once you get 100 picks in the system, see right now my last 100, I'm hitting at 55%, which is it's okay. 55 is all right. You know what I mean? It's a winning record, but you like to 56 to 58 is where you're consistently making money. But depending on the how many favorites or how much juice you're laying, but yeah, it's pretty good. So check it out. This was the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast Weekend Edition. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I think I think this is like a good format to do when I don't do the daily podcast. come over here, make my baseball picks, do my research, and share. Hey, it's like coaching football. When you go to a coach's clinic, they always say, use it, steal it, use it, share it, right? Steal it, use it, share it, and pass it along. All right, so we'll see you guys back here tomorrow on another edition of the Ron Raymond Sports Betting Podcast. And check out atsstats.com. And if you're a CFL fan, the previews are now up. Cheers.